I met Olia completely by chance, and it seemed to me that there was some great design in it. Before I knew it, I had her phone number, and I called her the same evening to ask her out. Our connection grew quickly. We chatted every day, and she visited me often during the week. We spent time watching movies, having deep conversations, ordering food, and of course, intimacy became a regular part of our time together. However, there was always a pattern. She would leave around 9 in the evening. Every time I asked her to stay the night, she refused, citing that she was worried about her mother. "You're 24, not 15, I once remarked. "She must realize that eventually you'll have to leave her house. She understands. But her mom isn't ready yet," my friend replied sadly as she put on her jacket in the hallway. "Let me go meet her. I'll show her that I'm reliable and responsible," I offered, hoping to find a solution. "I'll introduce you, just not right now. She's going through a rough patch right now," my friend assured me. "But she already loves you, in her own way." I told her you're a breath of fresh air. And it's true. I care for you very much. Her words filled me with joy, and I decided to ignore the problems her mom was having. Whenever I invited Olia on vacation, on a weekend picnic, or on an overnight trip, she always refused. She attributed it to her mother's anxiety and her irregular work schedule that often required her to work weekends. "It seems like you only have to work on Saturdays when I ask you to do something." I couldn't help myself once. "It's just that life is full of coincidences," Olia replied nonchalantly and quickly changed the subject. At that moment, I should have been more careful, but I was too engrossed to notice the signs. One incident put everything in its place. We ran into each other outside my house, and I suggested we go to a cafe for a bite to eat. Olia hesitated and insisted on going straight to my place, claiming that she missed me a lot. I was very hungry, so we walked into the mall and confidently headed towards the area where tea and burgers were served. Reluctantly, my girlfriend followed me. As we walked up the stairs to the second floor, my girlfriend called out Olia's name. They paused to chat, but it was obvious that my companion was extremely uncomfortable. She responded with short one-word phrases, clearly indicating her desire to leave as soon as possible. "Oh, you're not alone," the acquaintance remarked in a falsely friendly tone. "How interesting." I just handed him a lighter. Olia whispered quietly, hoping I wouldn't hear. But there was no lighter, and soon we said goodbye, had dinner, and spent the evening at my house. However, a strange feeling continued to torment me, despite my attempts to push these thoughts away. A week later, Oli's friends contacted me on social media. "Good afternoon, I finally managed to find you. Remember we met at the mall last week? I'm Katya," they wrote. I replied in the affirmative, wondering why they were trying so hard to contact me. We started communicating, and soon I learned something that sent shivers down my spine. It turns out that 3 years ago, Olia and Katya were close friends. Katya had a boyfriend who was interested in Olia. She secretly pursued him, and then, sensing danger, resorted to extreme measures. She fabricated a story about her friend, because of which the guy distanced himself from her. Naturally, this undermined the friendship between the girls. However, circumstances forced them to continue working together in the same company, which did not allow them to completely avoid each other. Olia met with the guy for almost a year, and they planned to get married. He proposed, they moved in together, and even began to look for a place for the wedding. But one incident changed everything. During an argument while driving, Olia impulsively pushed him and accidentally poked him in the eye with her finger. In the same second, he lost control of the car and crashed into parked cars. Olia suffered minor injuries and the boyfriend was permanently disabled. For the last 2 years, she has been taking care of him, cooking, feeding him, and meeting all his needs. This lifestyle was not easy for her as she faced the realization that her boyfriend was disabled and the responsibility for their relationship fell on her. Simple activities such as going for walks or traveling together seemed out of reach, which made their relationship even more difficult. Grateful to fate, I couldn't help but wonder about my role in her life. Was I just a temporary outlet for her frustrations, or was she using this relationship to fill the void left by the previous one? Perhaps she was considering leaving me altogether. Unfortunately, I never got any answers to these musings. Olia abruptly stopped communicating with me, as it seemed that Katya had revealed everything to her. Now I am in a difficult position. It turns out that I unknowingly almost stole the girl from her previous deceived partner. If I had known the truth, I would never have gotten involved with such a person.